Folks, we are back. Episode number 1313 of the Breakdown podcast. My boy FaZe Sensei in the building with his Hitman jersey on.
Yes, bro. Look, I gotta give you like a better.
Don't tell me you're in pajama pants with the Hitman. Come on, bro.
I am in pajama pants.
Oh
dude.
my
It's
god.
late over
You know
here. We're
why?
East Coast
You know
time.
why? Because he's a hitman even when you sleep on him. Or he's a hitman that'll put you to sleep. That's why he's in them pajamas. Never again.
Dude, this team right here, Hitman, #1 seed, undefeated in our division. We did lose an out of conference, but we're not gonna talk about that. But in our division,
anyway.
in our conference, we are undefeated. Clinched it. And your boy got player of the game last game. Got some tutties.
Got some tutties.
Put the team on his back though at the end of the game.
You know, it's kind of a double entendre. You play for the Hitmen, and in about 12 days time, or no, 10 days time, you're going to be a hitman. Tell me, we'll get our update right out of the way now. Tell me how you're feeling 10 days out, brother, because this is going to be the last time we do the podcasts in remote locations. So you guys are seeing this. It's actually going to be, by the time they see this, it'll be 8 days away from the fight. So by the time you guys see this, we will be preparing for London, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Before we get into anything, Jesus, we just started the podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe here at the YouTube. We're on the road to 20K. We have some friends helping us out with that today. Back with that and more on that in just a little bit. But also, I'm slacking on it, I know, but I will get there with the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. Rating, review, you know the deal, man. Anyway, Sensei, we're 8 days away. How you feel, man?
I'm feeling great. I've literally never trained this hard for a fight.
You just told me, by the way, they don't know this. You just told me you just got done with sprints before we started the podcast, and it is midnight your time right now.
Oh yeah.
So is this part of your thing to acclimate? Are you starting to try to acclimate to London time already? Is that kind of the deal here?
No, because I knew I was gonna be I've been training at this time pretty much the whole time, later.
Gotcha.
Because we know we're gonna be competing around that time.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's just been the best time for me, and I like it. Boxing and fighting is the loneliest sport, and I really enjoy training late at night, and even at times going to the gym, the boxing gym that I use by myself.
Yeah.
Because it's just my coach and I, so I can go there whenever I want. So I really enjoy just being there, outside. There's not a lot of cars around,
Right.
So when you're in that ring, it's very lonely. There's no one else there.
Facts.
It's just you out there. So, a lot of visualization, a lot of preparing myself and getting myself through those fight nerves and getting ready, because I haven't been in the ring in a while. So I've already gone through mentally what I need to do to prepare. So mentally and physically, I'm definitely ready. Mentally, I'm definitely ready. So I wish I was fighting literally right now.
Woo, dude, I'm telling you, I got goosebumps, bro. That is this is the point in fight preparation that, heading into fight week, everyone's excited, right? We're all excited for this card, and we're going to talk about a lot of the stuff going on with it in just a second, but I don't want to skip over this, because this is the real part of fighting, right? Being at peace with the violence that's coming, right? This is literally the calm before the storm, and we don't talk about it a lot, so it's really great to hear you. Dude, I got fucking goosebumps, because no one talks about how this is, one is the loneliest sport, right? One is the loneliest person. When it comes to boxing, you are in there by yourself, and MMA and other sports too, but the realization of you talking about it, I like going by myself. I like training at night. This folks, is what we call the real talk when it comes to this stuff. I love it, man. I love that.
Yeah, so I'm really looking for. I'm so
You're locked in.
I wish the fight was tomorrow, right now. I'm so ready to go. I've done all of the work that I needed to do.
Yeah,
the preparation is there in order for me to make the walk to go out there and compete and put my best foot forward. So I feel okay, I'm ready to fight. Let's just go do this. So.
Let's go. I'm hyped for you, man. Well, listen, let's just go right into it then. All right, let's just go right into it. Your boy might have put out a video today.
Yes.
Breaking down the Sensei and King Kenny fight. Tell me what you thought of the video. Don't listen. You don't have to big up your boy. And I know we got a podcast together, but if it was shit, tell me it was shit. You feel me? Nah, what'd you think?
The analysis was freaking mint. It was very accurate. It's very detailed, you know. Obviously, you know me, so you have some more information.
Right.
But I really liked the detail stylistically,
Yeah.
for both Kenny and for me.
Mhm.
You touched on some points there that most people, I think, even like casual fans or just like the regular viewer, may not pick up. They
Yeah.
may think, oh, since they just they know like the regular stuff, the more experience and things, but
Mhm.
stylistically,
Yes.
the challenges that Kenny can present and then I can present, I thought it was pretty accurate. This is like what you saw is exactly what I see. I'm
Yeah.
very much like a very realist person when it comes to combat sports. There are some people that have to be like, I'm the best. No one can beat me. Like they
Right.
have to be like kind of delusional,
Mhm.
and sometimes that does work,
Yeah.
right? But for me, I'm not like that. So I'm a very like, realistic person. I like to see things as they are, and if I'm delusional, to me, it kind of throws me off. If I'm over here talking like no, you know what I mean, just
Right.
over the top.
Because you don't
Um,
believe it, right? You don't like some
right,
guys have to believe that about themselves, and you know we
correct.
have one or a couple maybe, and even our scene guys like Jake Paul have to believe that about themselves because that
Right, right,
confidence is
right.
derived from their ability to overinflate maybe their own skill level because when they overinflate it, that's where they want to get, that's where they need to get, that's where they get, right? So I
But I
really
will
appreciate
say
it about you though.
sometimes though, I would say sometimes though, there's like that really helps people,
Yeah.
you know, because there
Oh,
are
no
some
doubt.
people like fighters who I've always like one thing I've always said is I go, man, before a fight, and this is like a random thing, but I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but I always feel like the guy that is more religious
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is gonna have a better shot of winning
100%.
because if you are like really believe in your faith,
Yeah, it's over, dude.
you have like a different sense of confidence
Yeah,
that whether it's real or not or religion, despite your beliefs, that the conviction that somebody has in
100%.
there, they believe that no, I'm gonna follow through, like I'm gonna win, like
Yeah.
God's on my side, those type of things. I'm
Yes.
like, man, it's tough. Like that type of attitude, you know, can work in your benefit if it's not too delusional.
Right.
I've heard somebody say before, I forget, it was like a famous boxing trainer, to like the best boxers were the most insecure
Yeah.
ones
Yeah.
personally because they feel like they always have something to prove or
Mhm.
their ego helps them, you know, at times. But there's been plenty of guys who aren't like that. Like I look at somebody who like Sugar Ray Leonard,
Yeah.
who was like doesn't seem like a boxer when you hear him talk.
No.
You know what
Sweetest
I'm
guy,
saying?
soft voice,
This guy, right? But just
a
something else. So
killer. A shoe shine
yeah,
like
dude.
nobody else's business killer. You know what I mean? His shoe shine
You
was
know, so
crazy. He would
yeah,
take
he
rounds
was
from you with
crazy.
just that, bro. Fuck the jab that he was, you know, he had a crazy jab that he would just,
Mhm.
and then like you lost a round. Man was playing whack-a-mole with your ribs, son. But no, you made a good
Yeah,
point. Like
so
think
yeah.
about some of the greatest champions in boxing MMA history. Like remember Tyson Fury, a very religious guy, and honestly, it pulled him out of a lot of demons he had. You know what I mean? Muhammad
Yep.
Ali, super religious, obviously after he converted. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys now in MMA that are just like that. Yoel
Yes.
Romero started calling himself the soldier of God, and he couldn't be beat. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So it's like when you start to believe like that, and especially when he was doing like the salutes when he was coming in and like goose stepping on his, I was like, no, dude, I don't want any part of that Yoel, the one that beat Chris Weidman in New York. I was like, I don't want
Yeah.
any part of that guy.
Wild.
No
But
shot.
it has to have some backing because then you can have somebody who's just
Who's just
better.
who's just
So it
better,
doesn't
and that
matter,
exactly.
you know?
And that's where a guy like a guy like Conor McGregor starts to come along, right? His belief isn't in a higher power. He thinks he is the higher power, right? Like that's the belief
Yeah,
gets put
yeah.
back into him, and that's where it overcomes like the Jose Aldo kind of belief and just stick you at 13 and put you down. But no, man, it's crazy. It's refreshing hearing you talk like that because not a lot of people, like you said, are realists in the fight game. Fighters are some of the most emotional people you'll ever meet, and it, like you said, it fuels them, and sometimes it topples them completely. But I love hearing that, man. I think you're 100% ready, but yeah, I appreciate the love on the video. I was trying to do my best to
Yeah.
keep it as unbiased as possible because Kenny is in that same mode. A lot of
Yeah.
people are quieter around this card than we've really ever seen. Even we worked Creator Clash, and they weren't quiet for the reasons that it seems quiet on this card. And I think it's because reality in this card is set in very quickly, right? Even before fight week, and now it's becoming even more so, but even before fight week, guys knew this was serious. Guys knew this was, we're putting it on the table, like kind of everything on the table for guys like you, Kenny, even, Slim, who's getting a great opportunity here. Slim is doing some crazy good promotion, though. We have to talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But Deji, Fuzi, right? Like all of these guys that really understand how much this weighs, it's been radio silent. And I'm not even like upset with it because I understand the severity of what's about to happen. And I think they do too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited as we get closer to the card. But speaking of the card, major announcement this week. Well, I guess we're going to see, but KSI, let's start with what was supposed to happen. KSI announced he was supposed to be, or is still, we don't know at this moment, supposed to be fighting 2 guys in one night. Give me your thoughts on that first. KSI pulling out the big boy balls and saying, 2 guys one night, what's up?
It's insane, obviously, because you're fighting 2 people.
Yeah.
Regardless, before we talk about like their background, we know that one's a pro, but whatever. But also because you know that he wasn't preparing for this.
No.
It's one thing to try to do this, and if it competitively makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then also you've prepared for it.
Right.
And you know who you're competing against. You have a plan for this person. You have a plan for this person. But they're 2 late notice people.
Yep.
With the idea of fighting 2 people late notice is just, it's insane because there's so many like things that you just don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables at play. Yeah.
So many variables to play in. So it's like, and you're saying you're not sure if it's going to happen. It hasn't been sanctioned or something.
So here's the thing. One,
I was wondering. I'm like, I was told we were in 10-ounce gloves. We were told 10 or 12. That can happen, and all of a sudden you get pushed to 14 because
because once you get to 10 or 12, they're like
it.
Exactly.
But we were told it's supposed to be that, so it should be that. But like, okay, so we're doing pro fights. And it's not an exhibition. Is like KSI going to be doing?
Listen, from what I've heard, and I don't have all the connections I think people think I have, but from what I've heard, it's not going to be sanctioned as a pro boxing or either of them. I don't know about. Maybe the second one, but I don't think him and Swarms are supposed to be. But I don't know that. I think they're going 3-3s with both those fights too, if I'm not mistaken, instead of going 6s. Okay. Because, I mean, it makes more sense. Trying to get KSI to do 2 6s back-to-back is pretty crazy.
It's also very long. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, so I don't know. I wouldn't. Let me talk to some people before we make that public because I don't know. But what I was going to say is, before we even get into, like you said, the opponent, and we're going to talk about the controversy around that, there was a big debate, and I want to get your thoughts on this, online about, KSI getting another opponent, that's still, like, people were still, that still doesn't mean shit. This guy's 3-16-2. Swarms has never fought. This is a PR stunt, all this. Give me your thoughts, because I have some follow-up thoughts, but I want to know what you think about the criticisms, people saying, like he's only 3-16, he's not so-and-so. Like, what'd you think about some of that stuff?
Well, I don't know. It seems off, because to me, like you said, I'm a realist here. So JJ he hasn't fought in a while, and he's
3
not
years.
A full-time boxer. Exactly. That's just... Oh, it's just as long as me almost.
Yeah, yours is 4. He fought the year after against Logan, and that was the last time.
Oh, yeah. So he hasn't fought in a while, and he's not an active or a full-time professional boxer.
Yeah.
So when you say he's fighting a journeyman, that's one thing. But he's fighting a journeyman as his second opponent. Like, he went from Alex Wasabi to someone who hasn't fought, plus someone who's fought professionally and has won professionally.
Yeah.
I don't know who those wins are against, but it was more than once. So
right.
And obviously he's lost quite a bit. But then again, if he's a journeyman, then that means he's maybe going up against a lot of prospects.
There was a guy, I think there's a guy that is 20-0 right now that smacked him up in his 15th fight. Like,
that's where you get put. So you're forcing people who are prospects. So it's kind of like you're getting now. Does that mean KSI is supposed to be
No.
a professional boxing prospect, right? So if I think no, then that means it seems even crazier
Exactly.
for Jay to do that. So I think sometimes they may look at this and think JJ is
You know what they're
they may
doing.
they overthink it, like, oh, JJ should be fighting here, so him fighting a journeyman. I'm like, bro, this is insane.
No, it is. And the reason this happens and what you're describing is the Jake versus KSI mentality, right? This is what everyone goes to when either guy has something going on. And I'm not even upset with that. Like, that's going to happen. It's natural. They're on this trajectory to one day meet, right? But here's why it doesn't make sense to me, because people were like, oh, if Jake did the same thing, you know, people would be shitting on him. And I was like, yeah, if Jake did the same thing right now, people would absolutely shit on him because of what he's done in his past and the people he's faced up until this point, right? At this point,
you don't go from Tyron Woodley to a rapper.
At this point, it wouldn't make sense. But if we were to say Jake took 3 years off after he fought Gibb, came back, and I misworded this on Twitter. I almost had the perfect point, and I misworded it by a couple things. But if he came back and instead of fighting Nate Robinson, right? Let's say that Nate Robinson had to pull out, and even Nate Robinson, like Alex Wasabi smacks up Nate Robinson. Let's be honest here, but even if Nate had to pull out and they get some guy that's never trained on 2 weeks' notice to come in, and then Jake says, you know what, I'll fight a guy after that too who's a pro boxer, and he was a journeyman, I don't think nearly as many people will be calling this some kind of like, oh, this is BS. Because at that time, and this is how perception makes reality, at that time, Nate was looked at as some super contender or competition for Jake, and he absolutely wasn't.
Yeah, no.
So it's one of those things where I was thinking, I was like, let's be a little more honest when we're comparing things. Jake's 4-0, 5-0.
Yeah, it wasn't like JJ was planning for this.
Exactly. It's not like if things went according to plan, he had Alex, and Alex was going to be more of a challenge than any of these guys.
Oh, yeah. And he could have just done the other part that when I say is
maybe
crazy
not the pro, but
he could have done just the Swarms thing because it was a fill-in.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the part where I'm like, okay, you didn't have to do this at all.
Exactly.
Like, it was completely unnecessary. We already know that you're trying to do like a warm-up fight. You're trying to develop yourself. So for you to be in that place and then be like, nah, let's just do a second fight.
I thought it was a great move. I thought it's something, like you said, he didn't have to do, but it was perfect for his his future, his legacy, for him. We've talked about it. For him to be able to gain the levels, right? For him to be able to gain that experience, he needs fights. He needs a lot of them. And to get to where Jake is, or, to, I guess, again, perception to where Jake is, we need him to have 3 or 4 more fights. And if he could do that in fucking 3 or 4 months, that'd be great, right? And we thought, no, there's no way because he's such a big star and there's just no way he's going to go back to back. But this is, again, the way you kind of do that. So I thought this was a great move for him. But, yeah, I was a little annoyed at people taking the piss out of it. But, so in lighter news, not necessarily this card, even though this card's going to be fantastic. You guys make sure you watch August 27th, the Zone X Series Misfit Boxing. My boy Sensei's on the card. I'm commentating, probably interviewing him after the fight. But not only is this card coming up, Sensei, did you know this? KSI was on a podcast called The Fellas, and he announced 4 new Misfit boxing cards. I think 2 this year, and then I think 1 in January. And if I think Keemstar also said something about it. I think 2 are going to be pay-per-view events and 2 are going to be DAZN subscription events without the pay-per-view on top. So
wow,
you'll still have to have the DAZN description, but that just tells us that DAZN is also backing all 4 of these fights. So Misfit and DAZN have a 4-fight deal coming up, or I guess 3 fights left, and then the one that we're about to go into. So talk to me about that. October, December, January. Is KSI going to be fighting on one more of these? You would think so if one more is a pay-per-view, right?
I can see him fighting on one more. But he talked about wanting to put on, a lot of events. But
yeah,
that's crazy that they already committed to being that active.
And the partnership with DAZN for DAZN to go, okay, I'll give you a 4-fight deal. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
that's huge for influencer boxing. Huge.
It was a 4-fight deal with DAZN?
That's what they're saying, that all 4 are going to be on DAZN.
Wow. So because the pool for influencer fighters is not big. However, there's still a lot of people out there
that haven't gotten fights.
That's true. That haven't gotten fights. So
yeah,
Misfits is going to try to snag them all.
They should. Like, how many times have we waited for fights in this scene specifically? And yes, we don't have the roster of a UFC, right, or a Matchroom or someone like that, but there are guys still out there that want and need fights, and guys that are going to be on this card that are going to want to turn around and continue fighting because we've seen now guys have committed fully to this. This is no longer, we're just kind of doing it to do it. There are guys that like Slim, like Temper, like Dean the Great, who have been training and waiting, like, where's my fight? And now we're starting to roll those fights out. You know what I mean?
That's the tricky part. I guess you're going to need enough people, like enough fighters who are taking it seriously because you're going to get this gap. That's what I've always worried about. What happens when
gap.
You get guys who have been training for a couple years now and get active.
Yep.
And now it's like, okay, they no longer can, like Jake, for example.
Yep.
He's the outlier right now. Can't be fighting influencers.
Nope.
And it's
here's where I think we go with it. And this is the
Dean's
next
the
move.
guy that's on the edge there too, because Dean's
on the edge.
He's got so much. He looks sharp and he got a lot of experience. You can see him. He looks like he's someone who'd be a prospect anyways.
And I think Dean's gonna make that move at some point too. Honestly, I think that Happy Punch has put a lot into him because they think he will. I don't want to say supersede, but he can kind of play both, right? He can do the entertainment fights when and again it's gonna be a limited amount, and then go maybe into the pro scene. I've talked to him about it. It's something that seems like he's excited about, so I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, the gap is going to be interesting to figure out. I think when we get to that point, we're going to start to see the crossover fights like we're seeing with Jake now, right? Where it's like you're seeing him fight big names that aren't necessarily the most talented fighters on the planet anymore, right? Maybe they were at one point, but either they're from a different sport or you're catching them on the back end or whatever it is. The name value of the YouTuber and high-level fighter that is maybe an MMA fighter doing boxing or a boxer that's, in their 40s or 50s or whatever, that is what we're going to start to see with more people, I think. And I don't actually mind it.
100%.
Like, I don't mind that, That'd be fine. But speaking of high-level athletes, bro, we have to talk about the highest-level athlete that YouTube scene has ever seen. Possibly the highest-level athlete we've ever seen in the history of life. You know him, and I know him as Jake Paul.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Did you?
What did he do now?
Did you see he was tasked with not only throwing out the first pitch of the Marlins game, which, by the way, the Marlins, can we get some more fans in the stadium? For Christ's sakes, it looks like a ghost town out there. I know baseball is not the most interesting sport in the world all the time. I know people are going to get mad at me for that. But good Lord, is Derek Jeter still the head over there? Like, what is happening, dude? How is the captain not putting asses in seats? And listen, Jake Paul usually selling out arenas. Nobody showed up for that man to throw out the first pitch, but he did. And Sensei, when I tell you,
I didn't see the pitch.
Do you want to watch it right now?
Yeah, please
show
me this.
Let's watch it. Give me your rating on the form here.
Okay.
I'm going to let you watch it again. I'm going to let you watch it one more time.
Okay.
All right, what do you think about that? And he gave himself the clap, too.
I thought it was going to be worse. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting something.
You thought he was going to throw it into the stands or short arm it?
Yeah.
He's going to two-hop it?
I got to give him, because he did get it over the plate-ish.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be uglier. So I gotta give him some credit. But like best athlete ever?
Oh no. We're not done, buddy. Hold on. We're not done. We are not done. All right? Because he wasn't done. Not only did Jake do some pitching, but he also did some hitting. All right, let's see Jake hitting a ball here, or attempting to. Here we go. Rough swing.
It's a little rough. Yeah, a little rough there.
A little rough.
I don't know. Did he play baseball?
Okay. You know, they tell you to throw your hands to the ball and let the bat flow through. Elbow is down.
The stance look a little promising.
The stance is promising, and then we get here. And then it's not so much, right? This might be a second channel breakdown for your boy.
I was going to say, this swing, though, does look a little bit better.
Well, he got jammed on this second one. That was the problem here, right? Where he's here, he got jammed up super quick. Well, actually, no, it's not that one. It's this one right here. He got jammed, right? So he wasn't ready for that one. That one got a little jammed. But here's the problem, is it's not anything to do with his hands. First off, it's this bad boy. It's his elbow. And then we're swinging. That elbow's by our hip. We need that thing high, and you rotate through, you know? So what are you giving this swing out of 10 here?
Well, the problem is he hasn't.
Oof, that is
He
bad.
hasn't made any contact. You swing can
They
be
said he
ugly,
might have
dude,
hit
but you
like
gotta-
2 out of the ones they pitched to him.
How fast were they pitching?
Again, they were throwing it from that 60 feet, and they were lobbing that shit. It's just regular batting practice.
All right, well, we got to give him like a 3.
Yeah, 3
Or
for
a 2.
trying.
If he was at least
for
hitting
trying.
it. The point of the swing is to hit. So
Is to
even
hit.
if the swing was ugly, if you're making contact, if you know, think,
And he wasn't. He was not.
but he was just whiffing, you know?
All right, we're sticking with the theme here. Jake Paul, greatest athlete on the planet.
Okay, his route here.
Let's start with this route. I think. Well, actually, hold on. I think there might have been more before this. Let's get everything we can. Oh, let's get the 40 first, because that seems like that's what we want to. That's what we want to see first. So Jake Paul, notoriously known, by the way, to
This just happened, right?
This happened today. Jake Paul, notoriously known to run a 4.40, in his own words. These are his words. This is at 40 yards. I checked the 5-yard line markers. We have a stopwatch, so you know just as well as I do, we better add 2/10 at least to whatever we get here. But here we go. He's in cleats, so you can't give me the tennis shoes rule. Let's see what he's got.
Does he even come to one hand? It's off 2 hands? Okay.
If he goes off 2, it's already okay. He went off 2.
Oh.
Yep. Okay.
I got 4.72.
Oh, okay.
Someone said. He goes, I got 4.72. The other guy goes, I got 4.85.
Yeah.
My man didn't have to say that, bro. You're supposed to.
I know. I was gonna say. I was like,
Low number
damn,
wins.
man.
Okay, so
They should've
4.72 on the watch. That's usually a laser
Kept that
time,
quiet.
4.9 or 5 flat. What do you think about Jake's claims that he runs a 4.4 and then puts on that kind of performance?
Yeah, I think we just saw the freaking truth.
Yep.
He's exposed by his own guys, whoever was there.
Here's a question. Could you outrun Jake Paul right now?
Oh, that's a good question. The reason I say that, you might have to put up my little run here that I just
I
had
know.
the
You might
other-
have to send it
over
to
the
me so I
weekend.
can see it.
Because
Let's do that. If you
was
send me
it
that
was the
video,
end
if
of
you
the
have
game.
it.
It was the end of the game, and I was in pads.
Yeah.
But your boy, I was kind of chilling, and I broke. It's so funny. I'm running up the sideline like a quarterback, like I'm about to run out of bounds. And then I
Get him with the
lane.
fake outside of bounds?
Tucked it, dude. I'm gonna run it back now, bro.
Yeah. Did you give him the picket? You faked like you were going to, and then stuck it and went back
I
in?
didn't fake slide.
Oh,
I was really about to go out of bounds.
Yeah.
And then I saw a lane. I was like, "Oh, see it.
Psych.
Let's go get the win. Let's
Tucked
get
it
the dub
in.
here."
A
But I'm a little bit lighter.
little bit lighter than
You know?
Jake, but you
No,
did
like,
have pads on.
I'm saying me personally.
Oh, now
Like,
you,
'cause I was walking around like 196, and your boy's like right on fight weight. So
Hey.
I'm a
So
little
you're
bit
moving
quicker
now.
right now.
You're moving
A little
right
bit quicker. Yeah.
All right, let's
My
give our
Smith flares
last.
up pretty fast.
You're a quarterback. You know, you play starting QB1 for the Hitmen. Give me
Sure.
your analysis of Jake running route. Tua actually throws him this ball, so I expect it to either be overthrown into the
Tua?
press box or underthrown at his feet. Sorry,
Let's go,
Tua. You're not FaZe Sensei. You're not him. Sorry. All right.
I'm dead.
Let's see Jake versus his strength and conditioning coach that they claim was a NFL football player, which I highly doubt. Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh!
Oh, okay.
And there we go. Your
I thought you were gonna
thoughts.
show me a catch, bro.
Your thoughts on this performance here. Now, was that more Tua or is that more Jake Paul? Let's watch it again.
We got Tua overthrew him, so it's got to be Jake.
Here's where Jake messed up, okay? And this is why
Yes.
when Jake says he's
Lost the
going to
path.
play NFL athlete, he's going to play in the NFL, there's a couple things. As a college wide receiver, I'll tell you a couple things that went wrong here, okay?
Yeah, talk to us, yeah.
All right, so the first thing, right, his release isn't terrible, but it's just kind of nothing, right? And this guy bites on an inside jump for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But Jake gets a kind of outside release. Okay, cool. Now, what's the first thing as a quarterback you would want your receiver to do right here, right? Do you know? He needs to.
I would want him
Go ahead.
to stack.
He needs
if
to
he
stack
can.
this man. He has to stack this man because in stacking, we're going to give you guys some inside baseball here, inside football. Stacking means that Jake, I should be recording this, but whatever. Jake needs to get basically on top. This is going to sound weird, but he needs to be stacked on top of this DB, right? To give himself room to the outside and room to the inside so that whatever the route is, the DB doesn't get a jump on him and he can go both ways. He can move unilaterally, right? So instead, Jake doesn't. Takes the outside lane, but what he does do decently here is decent little fake on the hitch, right? Gives the look back. DB is lost in fucking Neverland. Lost. Who turns like that on a fake? Anyway, here's the second mistake. Jake is already looking back for the ball.
Yeah.
This is what slows him down.
Punch that, keep his hips low, and drive forward. Get back to driving.
This is why he gets overthrown here. One, because Tua is Tua, but secondly, because at 10 yards, Jake is looking back for the ball. Now is where we need to look back. Because the move itself is sold with the look back. But now you drive out of that cut, drive. Now we look back, but instead we look back the entire time, and because of that, we slowed down right off the fingertips. Decent throw, though.
He started drifting back inside the
exactly. Yeah.
And he didn't need to turn his hips back on the double move. He should have just
sit down and go.
Sit down, punch it a couple times, and then get back to full speed.
There it is, folks.
Look, Jake also missed times that he slowed down there for a second.
Yep. He tried to catch this in the half jump between. Nope.
Yeah, he didn't run through it. Because it was a good spot. He just needed to.
That wasn't a bad ball, actually, by Tua.
Just drop, pop, and then punch back to reaccelerate there.
Yeah, no, he absolutely could have done better with that. But this is why we call Jake the greatest athlete of all time, because he's out here trying to catch passes from Tua. I mean, listen, if that's FaZe Sensei, maybe that's a completion. That's all I'm saying. So as an athlete, are you...
Either way, because your boy can play receiver right here too. So
yeah, listen, Jake does not want one-on-ones with Sensei. I'm just going to let you know.
Oh, let's go.
You don't want that smoke. As an overall athlete, what are your final ratings on Jake? 1 to 10. Baseball, couldn't hit that. Pitched from 60, pretty decent.
What's our 10, dude? What's our
10 would be... I can't say Deion Sanders because that's ridiculous. Let's say who's a decent. Let's say a 10 is Russell Wilson, right? Played baseball, NFL quarterback. Because Jake wants to. You know what? Let's do this. Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson. These are high level athletes.
Like Kyler Murray or.
But Jake
Russell
says he
Wilson?
wants to play in the NFL, right? He wants to play safety. He's legitimately said this, and throws out the first pitch. On a scale of 1 to, I wouldn't even say Kyler Murray. Let's say Russell Wilson. Where is Jake Paul?
Him as an overall multi-talented athlete, I've got to say like a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to say he is that one guy that hangs out at the high school that tells everyone that he was D1 bound but hurt his knee. That's Jake.
Yeah.
That's Jake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to be nice with
that's
the
level. That's the. I mean, maybe he is a 3. He's the guy that hangs out at the high school on Saturdays or on Friday nights and then goes play flag football on Saturday and complains after every snap. That's that guy. So Jake,
because we're talking about the 10 is 2 guys who can play professionally in 2 sports.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm trying to give Jake the benefit of the doubt because he said he's going to play in the NFL at safety, but I don't.
Bro, I would pay to see that.
Give me Jake Paul in a training camp, please. Give me Jake Paul in a week of training camp.
What they do is then they just put Derrick Henry on a freaking outside zone so we can just cut back and just get Jake one-on-one, dude.
Or one-on-one in the slot with Cooper Kupp. Hello.
Yeah, dude.
See ya.
Shed a block, and then Henry just freaking.
Or DK Metcalf one-on-one with the safety. Come here. You thought you could. No shot.
Because when they run, just put him out there. Yeah, throw a little bubble funnel screen to your boy DK Metcalf, and because the safety's gonna be on block, so Jake's gotta come down on that.
Yeah, you gotta make that play, son.
Yeah, like they were gonna leave Jake on blocks. Okay, bro.
Leave him. They're like, cool, we good.
Beeline, bro.
Just no stick, just fucking sit down. It's like the Little Giants when the fucking kid with the glasses gets run over and they step on his back.
Dude, bro, or tight end, bro. Any tight end coming over.
Give me Mr. Greg Kittle on a crossing route, son.
I'll get Jeremy Shockey out of retirement right now today, bro.
What's the cat's name in Baltimore? I want that guy. Give me Mark Andrews. Sticking inside. But there it is, man.
Like Shockey, though, bro. Nobody.
There it is, man. Jake Paul, one of the greatest athletes to ever live. You know what? We're going to finish up, but we're going to finish up with, that was one of our most fun. We got to start doing that more on the podcast. You know what we got to start doing?
100%.
I got to start,
100%.
when we do these videos, I got to start recording them so that we can, because I'm going to do it and post this next time, but I'm going to record it with my other OBS so that I can go back and forth and have the recording there. That's going to be so perfect.
Yes.
We got to start doing that. I'm producing and hosting. What do you want? Now, on our last excursion before London, I want to get your predictions for what we're going to experience in London, because we're leaving, as this podcast goes out, it's Friday. We'll be leaving on Sunday, I think, right? Sunday is when you're going to?
Yep, Sunday night, red eye.
Okay. So, oh, dang, you're going red eye on Sunday night. I'm going Sunday morning. Yeesh.
Yeah, no, we arrive Monday morning.
Okay. So, yeah, so give me thoughts, man. First off, let's go first spot for food. Where are you hitting? Because the people loved our food talk about the UK last week. Where's the first spot you're hitting for food? And then what's your prediction for fight week, man? What are you looking to get into? What are you looking from
I've
London?
never been out. I've never been this early on fight week.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to enjoying London.
Yep.
You
gonna go sightseeing at all or what?
Yeah, for sure. This is the first time my fiance has been overseas. This is like the farthest she's ever traveled.
Oh, dude, me too. I went to London. First time I'd ever been out of the country.
Yeah, so I like a big part of this is really taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because she has barely traveled. Like she's never even been to Disney, dude. So, like the opportunity to sightsee and do that, I'm really excited for. Because we're going to be out there for plenty of time.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of time before the fight.
Give me the one spot. We shit on UK food a little bit last week. Give me the one spot you're like, I have to take her to
The only
this
spot I know is, like, by name is, what is it called? The freaking chicken place.
What, Nando's?
Yeah, Nando's. That's the only place I know by
name. Don't take her to. I mean, listen, shout out Nando's, but don't take her to Nando's, bro. You got to take her to.
There was a spot that we went to with Tom. In fact, there was a Brazilian spot.
Yeah.
And then there was a Greek spot. Oh my gosh.
Greek shit?
Straight fire.
I got to figure out from Vidal. We're actually going to try, and don't hold us to this, but we're going to try to get the first ever Breakdown Rill and Will's crossover event, 4-person podcast when we're out in London, and maybe when we do that, the boys can let us know where to go.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Preview on my end for London. You guys see the W Apollo that's dropping on the 23rd. I've been kind of teasing it for a bit. I might as well say it now. We're dropping it on the 23rd, bro. This is an exclusive for you guys. If you're interested, let's just say look at the description below. And there's going to be a video out while we're in London, so check that out. But outside of that, man, Sensei, you got anything else for the people before we head out tonight?
No, I'm actually going to be doing a video, though. I'm looking forward to. This is something I have not done yet with my fights. Like my final thoughts before I leave out. So I think Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday, because I still got a game on Saturday.
There you go.
But just in the ring, just talking about the camp and my thoughts. You're
going to be in the ring in the video.
Yeah,
that's
like,
sick.
I sit down in the middle and just talking about the fight preparation.
Yes.
YouTube scene and my final thoughts of heading into fight week. So I'm excited about doing that. It's kind of cool, a different perspective.
Yes.
Because a lot of people wait to put things out, or they don't really do like a sit down talk because everything's going so fast, so you get like little snippets, but it's just going to be me and the camera, and it's going to do kind of like a long form talk. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good one. And then obviously, we're days away.
Days away, baby. Days away. By the time we get out in London, hopefully we get the crossover event with Real and Wills. If not, we'll have one more podcast, and we'll get his final thoughts. We'll get your final thoughts before fight night. But, man, we're all excited. 8 days away. Team Sensei, obviously, in the breakdown community, myself, got to be impartial, but Team Sensei in the breakdown community, in his community, the Way Concept community, you guys give it up, man. Man, as we head out, make sure everyone subscribes here at the YouTube on the road to 20K. Hit the like button. Remember, comment below for those codes, man. Thanks again to EA Sports Madden 23. Obviously, if you're listening in audio version, you guys make sure you leave a rating review. I will get on top of this faster than my next girlfriend, I promise. But Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. The Breakdown episode 13. We will see you in 1 week's time. Peace.